I study a Japanese discipline called ninjutsu. It's the art of the invisible warrior, the ninja.
Oh, you mean those little guys who run around in black suits killing people?
And that's why you never try to impress babes with your ninja skills, unless you're Chris Farley.
It's very impressive.
He can do no wrong. Anyway, it's time to talk about the yin and the yang of ninja vengeance. There are few characters more iconic in pop culture than ninjas. Everybody wants to be a ninja. Little kids want to be ninjas. Turtles want to be ninjas. This old lady wants to be a ninja. The 80s were a great time for ninja films, and even though it was released in 1993, today we'll be talking about Ninja Vengeance, a movie filmed in 1988 in a sleepy town in rural Texas. And just looking at the cover, you can tell that this movie will not be quite as lighthearted as other movies in its genre. Nope, none of that fun stuff. Instead, Ninja Vengeance pits an ordinary, everyday, average American ninja against the Ku Klux Klan. And to be quite honest, that's a pretty ridiculously awesome premise. So, as the movie starts, we get a glimpse of some of the characters in their morning routine. First up, we have Sam, and also Sam's boobs for some reason. Sam's a dreamer, a young Texan gal with a fiery spirit who dreams of achieving more than just working at her father's store.
My dad still doesn't want me to go back to school.
Look, Sam, there comes a time when you just gotta live your life for yourself.
Her friend Mike, home for the summer from college, pushes her to leave home and finish school.
You just better mail that letter. The deadline for next semester is in 2 weeks.
But not under Dad's watch.
Told you to stay away from him. Get in the back and start stalking.
Or her racist cop boyfriend's watch.
Come on, let's go. Wait a minute, you can't tell her what to...
Who, by the way, also trained in martial arts, cause sure, why not? You can tell by the way he nonchalantly high kicks this sign for no reason other than to show it who's boss.
You know, one of these days, you're gonna bust your ass doing that. You know that?
Don't worry about me, Dad.
Eventually, we get introduced to our hero, the movie's red-hot ninja protagonist, a savior who will clean up this racist, backwards town, a motorcycle-riding loner, a legend in the flesh, Chris, who studies ninjutsu.
I study a Japanese discipline called ninjutsu.
Who won't shut up about his seminar.
I'm on my way to Houston for a seminar. I've got a seminar to be at tomorrow.
Please stop talking about your seminar, nobody cares. Chris's bike breaks down and forces him to stay in town longer than he expected. He checks into a motel and unpacks all his cool ninja stuff. Unfortunately, things take a turn for the worse for Sam's friend Mike when he gets picked up by a truck full of Klan members.
Get him tight, hold him down on the ground.
And then beaten to death by Sam's boyfriend, Jesse.
He's dead.
What? No, he isn't.
Get him.
Finally, we get to our first real fight scene. The fighting is not that great. There's just a lot of shouting and confusion. For whatever reason, the director decided to have all the people in the background just shout incoherently.
Yeah, come on, get up, guys. Yeah, all right. Yeah, come on.
Who is this guy?
He's up fire.
After being witness to a murder and with the Klan after him,
Yeah, I need the police, please.
Chris calls the cops. Then Chris goes into one of his meditative states.
What you want to do is stay relaxed. Stay relaxed as much as you can.
He does this a few times throughout the movie. We get these sage-like voiceovers with a flashback to these training scenes on a beach. Because what's a ninja without his master?
You're doing real well in this now.
This master, by the way, is a real ninja master, and I mean real. His name is Stephen Hayes, and according to the credits, he's playing himself.
I have a school where people can come and study this.
You can even find his books on Amazon. You can also find them in Chris's little knapsack.
Freeze, asshole! On the ground! Now! On the ground, goddammit! Face down! Cover him! Just try something!
While Chris sits in jail for the night, Sam's dad delivers the bad news about the murder of her friend Mike, in what has to be one of the film's most intensely clunky exchange of words.
Sam, sit down a minute.
What is it if it's about school?
Mike is dead.
What?
Mike was found beaten earlier. He died on the way to the hospital. Sorry, baby.
No, this is some kind of joke.
Sam, relax. There's nothing we can do about it. They've already arrested a man who did it.
Who?
That young stranger.
What?
I understand the dad is intentionally lying about what happened, but the performance comes across like he's really, really drunk. The problem is the poor ADR. Automatic dialogue replacement is when dialogue or other in-scene audio is recorded later on in a studio. Older movies use it a lot, oftentimes for all the dialogue scenes in the movie, but Ninja Vengeance does a spectacularly poor job.
Just try something.
Wait,
Look, little girl, why don't you just go home?
Nana, wait. They're not going to let us see him.
Take, for instance, this diner scene from the beginning. Normally, a movie would just fill in the audio with some diner ambience. But instead, they just felt they had to add a little bit more color to Jesse's character by having him talk about some nonsense football game from years ago.
Remember that game where you made the winning touchdown?
That wasn't the only game that was won that night, I tell you.
And in just about virtually every scene, there is some piece of unnecessary audio that sticks out.
All right.
I stand before you.
Please, yeah, right.
Damn it.
Can I give you a hand?
Jess, leave me alone. I'm sorry.
It's like characters can't just enter a building or a scene without having some conversation already going.
Your boy, he sure kicked ass in that punk.
Jeff's gonna handle himself pretty well. The Marines trained him pretty good.
Yeah, we found the pickup over here in 1093.
When they got done, that minister's wife said, "Preacher style." Remember the hell boy Jimmy when it come a hailing on his old bald head?
Anyway, at the prison, Chris miraculously breaks out of jail.
What do you mean you take care of him? No! Stay back.
Okay. Shouldn't that be my line?
He and Sam head into the wilderness to try to escape the town and avoid getting arrested by the racist Klan cops. And as they travel deeper into the woods, trying to avoid capture, ninja love starts to blossom.
Oh, shit! God, you jerk! Oh! Oh!
This Texan girl doesn't stand a chance against Chris's lean upper body and flexible hammies.
He would have killed me.
No.
I'm not gonna die for him or you. Why did I pick up the gun? I'm not perfect. I'm still learning. Oh, Dad. All I wanted was to make you proud of me.
Dude, you're not going to impress her with all that whining. And can we talk about all the sounds you make when you get hurt in a fight?
Stop, please. Chris!
What?
As Sam and Chris hike through the woods, the sexual tension grows a little bit hot. Things start to really heat up after Chris gets a gunshot wound, and Sam needs to patch him up.
You gonna take those off, or are you gonna give me the pleasure?
Huh?
We've gotta close that up.
The gunshot wound is so high up on his leg, she's basically tending to a wound on his bare bottom. I made the mistake of wearing headphones while watching this, and it made me physically ill. I won't spoil the ending for you, but there's a showdown in front of a burning cross, and it ends pretty much exactly how you'd expect. The only shocker is how easily Sam forgives her dad.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'm still having a really hard time wrapping my head around Sam's dad at all. Sam's dad was one of the Klan members responsible for her friend's murder.
Give me that thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you got
Samantha will never forgive this.
But it felt like the movie couldn't make up its mind on whether or not we're supposed to hate him.
What has happened to you since Mom died? Dad, talk to me.
Just get back to work.
On one hand, he's a single dad doing his best trying to raise his daughter.
Don't you threaten my daughter, you... What do I do now, Carol?
On the other, he's a violent racist who lies to his daughter about who murdered her friend.
This is crazy.
The murderer being the guy he's okay with his daughter dating.
Come on, Jess. Please. Do it for me.
What's going on here?
And Chris, he isn't the most charismatic. Chris is a straight A, clean-cut, overachieving dork.
What?
Show me the loose cannon ninja. I don't want some sensitive milquetoast.
Why won't he let up?
I will say, it is enjoyable watching a guy who looks like John Tesh beat up on a bunch of racists, but the fighting itself isn't really anything too special. The enjoyment you get out of watching this movie is in the awkward dialogue.
Get hold of yourself. Tell me what happened.
Okay, I was in the office, and he came in. I pulled my gun out.
And she hit you.
No.
It was so weird and so funny, it actually made it worth watching. The movie's premise had a lot going for it, but it was executed about as well as any one of Jesse's intimidating one-liners.
You're mine, asshole.
Get in the goddamn truck! Yes, I know what I'm doing! Get her out of here! You can't keep us apart! Nobody can!
But yeah, it's worth the watch. Put this movie on with your friends if you want to have an okay time. If you're looking for some better American brand ninja action, try out American Ninja. Or better yet, Ninja Vengeance gets a watchability score of 6. I was gonna give it 5, but Chris doing his cute little somersaults bumped it up about a full point.
Thanks.
Look at that tumbling boy.